What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Mac, and I'm back with another one. And this is going to be for all the people who are bad-mouthing the show Hanebado. First thing I want to address right off the rip, the BAD in Hanebado is not for bad show. I've seen that way too many times, and that literally has to be a retarded argument. B-A-Ba-D-O, do. It's a pronunciation thing. What the hell are you talking about? Whatever. Moving on. The show itself, honestly, is really good. The animation is good. The dynamics of how they follow the action of the show is amazing. You know, it keeps up with the speed of the games in real time. You know, they have it fast-paced and fast-moving. It's not like shows like Kuroko Basketball, which I love. But when they would have conversations in the middle of the game, unrealistic. When they would be jumping up to go do a dunk with only like 3 seconds left and they still made it in time, unrealistic. But Hanebado, if somebody does a quick smash or a really hard hit, you know, the person won't really have time to think. They'll have a time to make one quick thought and then go after the ball. Or if somebody hits it up, they'll have enough time to, you know, try to strategize a little bit. That's actuality. That's factual. It's following the game with the speed. You know, and sometimes these things are instinctive. So you don't really have time to think. You don't have time to react. And they show that too. Very, very real-time action. People who are saying that it's overly sexualizing the characters or focusing on big boobs like harem anime and stuff, it's not. Out of a cast of like 20 characters maybe, you know, 2 of them being male, 4 of them being male, you only have about 5 girls, maybe 6 if you want to count one of them who's really not all that much into the show, who have big chests, and really only one of them gets shown like every time she's brought in. The rest of them you can't really even tell their chest size through the outfits they wear. So that's not factual. There's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, for that ratio of about 5 to 16, that's pretty good for a show nowadays. But usually almost all the girls that they'd have be big chested, and about 3 of them be flat chested, and then they always point to the flat chest and big chest about that. But it's not really all that sexualized. And people who are saying it is through the outfits, female sports outfits are normally made pretty, you know, form-fitting, because females require a lot of free motion for some of the sports they play, especially with a sport like Hanebado. Even if it was tennis, you would still see something that's pretty tight on the female, you know, unless they wear a skirt or something. So that way they won't be limited in their motions. So, sorry, that's not a good argument. Another thing, if you have any issues with the characters, I think the characters are done pretty nicely. You know, the show does a great job of showing the fragility of an athlete's mental state. You know, you can be thrown off your game pretty easily, especially when you're young. These are high schoolers. You know, they go through a lot of emotions, and these are high school girls, extra emotions. So, you know, it does a good job of showing that state of mental fragility, showing how they can get back into their game, you know, also showing how they can be taken out of their game. You know, how they can go from being nice to being cruel, from being cruel to being nice. It's great. You know, it's a good show. So, you know, I have some other videos talking about the show. I'll leave those links in the description box if you want to check them out. But the show is done really nicely, honestly. The main characters, Nagisa Arigaki and Ayano Hanisaki, they're very interesting characters who show a lot of things dealing with a young female athlete in a very highly competitive sport and a very difficult sport like badminton, which is another thing. It's probably one of the first shows ever done about badminton. Not that many people know about it. I've learned a whole lot about it, you know, so that's another thing. If you watch the show, you will learn some new information about a sport. You know, there are people out there who don't like sports animes and they really aren't feeling the show. That's understandable. You can't really relate to the athletic mind or what an athlete goes to. That I can understand that. But if you really just don't like the show because of tropes that you think you see, you know, that's on you. It's your fault. But, you know, any comments that you have on why you really don't like the show, if you really don't, and you have valid reasons, we can debate those out. Leave them in the comment section. Or if you have something that supports the show and you thought I left out, leave those in the comment section too. We can talk about that as well. Like I said, I'll leave those other videos in the description box. Thank you for your viewership. Subscribe. And please check the show out. It's really nice.